Everyone in Portorosso pretends to believe in sea monsters.
Well, I'm not pretending.
Hey everyone, so Luca follows a young sea monster boy named Luca who's very scared of the surface world because of his parents. They've pretty much warned him that, horrible land monsters are up there, and if you go up there, they'll freaking kill you. So he spends most of his days just farming fish. He's kind of like a sheep farmer. He herds them around and makes sure they eat seaweed and then takes them back home and everything like that. But one day he finds some human items and he gets very interested in them. And he follows them along, and eventually he finds this other sea monster boy named Alberto, who lives on the land and constantly comes between land and sea. And he convinces Luca to go on land, and Luca goes on land and he learns about Vespas, and he learns to love stuff on the land. He gets very interested in it, and Alberto's stories about the humans and their society and everything like that. And eventually his parents decide or learn that he is going to he's going on land and everything, so they decide that they're going to send him away with his uncle down to the deep, deep ocean. So he decides to run away with Alberto to go to the human city, where they meet a young girl named Julia, and they eventually become friends. And essentially this movie is about friendship, about Alberto and Luca, and it's a very good, nice story. Like I said, they go to the human world, and they have a bunch of little adventures and stuff, and a lot of good, interesting stuff. To really talk about it would be, I think, giving away a lot more of the story than I think people want to hear. I love this. It's the latest Pixar movie, and it's on Disney Plus. So if you have Disney Plus, it's free. You already have it, so go watch it. There's no excuse. It's a great animated movie. I love the visuals, I love the design of the characters, and I love the characters in this movie. Luca and Alberto are just really good friends, and you can see it, because they meet towards the beginning of this movie, and you can see their friendship grow and how they get along, and just how they're very young and they're experiencing the world, and they just want to go explore and everything. So it's really a coming of age kind of story for the most part, and it's very interesting. It's really fun. It really holds up because of the friendship of these two characters, and then when they meet Julia, also their friendship and seeing the human world and how they, they're fish out of water. So it's a lot of fun and a lot of interesting. The animation looks great. Like I said, I love the designs. It's colorful. It's bright. The music helps with the atmosphere and everything. I absolutely loved it. I did have a few issues with it story-wise. In kind of about the ending. They're not huge things, but they kind of bug me a little bit. But overall, this is a great movie. I do recommend people going to watch it. If you like Pixar movies, this isn't necessarily their A game, which isn't a problem. Not every movie is gonna be freaking, Toy Story 3 or something like that. So, but overall, it's a really fantastic movie. Another great Pixar movie to the collection. I give this movie an 8 out of 10. Like I said, it's fantastic. It has this nice, great story between two friends, and great visuals, great animation. It's just, like I said, it's Pixar. They always make great movies. I don't think they've made a bad movie. I think they made mediocre movies. I don't think they've ever made a bad movie. And this is another, fine, great, or good movie that I really enjoyed. And like I said, an 8 out of 10. It's really good, and I recommend it. So, like I said, I want to talk spoilers so I can get into some of the issues I had with this movie. Well, I guess I can talk some issues. Like I said, some of my issues with the story. I feel like it kind of meanders a little bit. Like at the beginning, it takes for a while for the plot to get going. Like Luca meets Alberto, and they become friends and everything. And I think it's like 20 minutes of them hanging out before the parents find out and actually confront Luca and want to send him away, and then they decide to run away to the human city. So, like I said, a lot of the plot, this isn't classic storytelling, I guess I want to say. It doesn't have the usual story structures of a lot of freaking other movies or stories. It's just like a great movie about characters kind of hanging out and having a good time, and there is like a story plot. Like the main events of this movie is them trying to win this triathlon that they're training for. That's like the big thing in this movie, and takes up a lot of the runtime. But overall, it's like even them. Like I'll talk about it in spoilers, sir. I'm gonna talk spoilers right now, so I can really get into details about it. Like I said, but there's a little bit of the story. Like I didn't the ending, and then I felt like the plot wasn't really strong. But it didn't affect the movie too much. Like at the beginning, I was just like, but by the end, I was like, I really enjoyed it. Besides the ending, the ending isn't bad, but it's still good. So 3, 2, 1, spoilers. So, like I said, when they go to the human city, they meet Julia and they train for this triathlon, and they're pretty much just training the entire time. And Luca's learning about the human world, and he's liking it. And Alberto is kind of jealous of how Luca is hanging out with Julia more, because she knows about the human world. So Alberto's been telling Luca things that aren't true because they're just things he's been guessing. And so he gets jealous, and that's kind of like the big conflict of the movie. He just gets jealous and they have a fight. The fight scene's really good, and I think they could have done more with it. Like they fall into the ocean, and then, you know, when they get in and out of the water, in the water there's sea monsters. Out of it, they look like regular people. So towards the end of the movie, they crash into the water, and Luca's dried up while Alberto's still a sea monster, and Alberto falls into the ocean, and Julia sees it, and she's like, oh no, sea monster. And then everyone's hunting sea monsters. So like this bully kid, the main villain of this movie, sees it, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna get you, sea monster. And Alberto's like, no, Luca, you know, like, say something, you're a sea monster too, defend me. But Luca's like, sea monster. You know, he pretty much backstabs him and, you know, throws him to the side. So Alberto takes off and he gets mad. And that's a very great character moment. And then Alberto and Luca talk, and Alberto explains that, you know, he's been living on the land and everything by himself because at first his dad came back and forth, but eventually he just stopped coming, so he's been alone. So his connection with Luca is very important. It's just like, you're essentially the only person I have. I've been alone for so long until you came into my life. So that's why he got very mad and jealous. He just didn't want to lose his friend, which is kind of the conflict and something Alberto kind of has to learn, that to let Luca go. But like I said, it doesn't work very well. It's very interesting and it's great character dynamics. But for the overall story plot, like for conflict and everything, it just doesn't work because they kind of fixed that situation really fast. And the sea monster thing as well kind of just, like, it works a little bit on the plot, but when the people find out that they're sea monsters, it kind of just gets resolved real fast. Like, the dad, or Julia's dad is, he likes these kids, so he knows them. So when they turn out to be sea monsters, he defends them, and he's like this big guy, you know, big, huge guy. So everyone in the town is just like, oh, okay, well, I guess we'll accept the people. And then these sea monsters we were, you know, trying to kill throughout the entire movie or try to catch, you know. So they just leave them alone and they accept them. So it's kind of just, I feel like it just doesn't really come into play too much. Like, they should have focused more on the character dynamics between Luca and Alberto, and from the start, and I think focus a lot more on it. It works, but I feel like it could have been done better. Like, more character moments throughout the movie would have made it work more. And so at the end of the movie, Luca leaves to the city, some big city, to go to school because he gets interested in school and learning, and he's like, okay, I'm gonna learn. And I feel like it doesn't really come out of nowhere, but I feel like it's not the great ending I wanted. Like, the person who learns the lesson is Alberto, because Alberto learns to let Luca go into the world to explore because that's what he wants to do, and he just stays behind in the city. And I'm just like, oh, that sucks. I mean, that's what happens with friends. Sometimes you get separated, you grow apart because, you know, you go in different directions. So it's a very sad moment, but I felt like the parents deciding to say, hey, Luca, we didn't want you to go on the surface, and we saw that you were okay, but now we're going to let you go in a big city by yourself. It didn't work for me. It just kind of bugged me. I was just like, I feel like they could have had a better ending. It's definitely a bittersweet ending, and like I said, it just bugged me a little bit. Not big, huge deal, just bugged me a little bit. But overall, like I said, great movie, an 8 out of 10. I do recommend you watch it. You know, it's only like an hour and 40 minutes, so it's a good watch. Disney Plus, free, go watch it now. So if you watched it, what did you think? Did you love it? Did you hate it? You know, where do you put it in your Pixar list? Is it towards the top, towards the bottom, in the middle? I think mine's a little bit closer towards the bottom, right below the middle. It's not their worst movie, but, they definitely have better movies. It's Pixar. But, that's just opinion. I'm sure people have it, like, on top of their list. Like, it has great character moments, and people really enjoyed this movie. So, again, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace out.